I was literally just on a Skype or a Teams call, so.
All right. That should, I pray, be working.
Yeah. What's ever gone wrong? I'll write everything. Close.
No, it just started like dumping outside.
Yeah, we lost power last night for a little bit. Had some crazy temporary thunderstorm. Speaking of which,
Doing all right over there?
yeah, I went out into the world today, Brad. I did errands and I got lunch, and I was exposed to one too many Pennsylvania drivers, and it's amazing. I didn't crash my car into someone just to drag them out of the car and beat them to death, but they're good drivers here, Brad. That's what I'm saying. For example, here's some examples of things like you're going through a green light and you put on your brakes, or you see a green light up ahead and you put on your brakes because it might turn red, and then it does because you're going so slow, and then all the people behind you don't get to go through the light. I wish this was funny, you know what I mean? But
it's hilarious to me.
It's just, I don't know.
You know, anything that makes your day a little worse makes mine a little brighter, I think is.
Okay. All right. Well, you've had a good year then, because
it's been
going well.
Smiles all around, let me tell you. It has been lots of smiles.
Oh, man.
We're going to start this right on time to the second.
Okay.
3,
Wow.
2, 1. Good news, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Good news. My little catastrophe with the imagery not working. Apparently, all of the internet has the same problem. And
I'm pretty sure actually it started with you and you've spread it to everyone else electronically somehow.
I just walked around
literally
coughing.
happened to me right after you talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go.
Solid software. It's hard to make an application that can display an image.
Well, what I don't get is this thing has worked flawlessly since it's existed. And then something has happened.
Just want to remind you, Brad, that this was a company that was going to add AR fireballs to this application. It can't even display a static image.
AR fireballs. That would have been... yeah.
Just put that in perspective.
AR fireballs.
Or whatever the hell that was. I don't know. You know, the soccer ball.
Oh, yeah, the soccer ball like going over and it catching on fire and right on the Microsoft campus.
And they started chasing the kid or whatever that was.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we are, not talking about AR fireballs. It is. I thought this episode was appropriately titled Facebook O'Clock.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. Facebook a little angry at Apple over iOS 14.
Facebook's tough because on the one hand, one of their complaints is completely valid. That is a good example of Apple being crappy, but they're also Facebook. And, you know, they had to go to advertisers and be like, look, your ad revenue is going to go down in iOS 14. Apple's on to us. They're going to stop, they're going to let people stop apps from tracking them around the phone. The jerks.
Yeah. See, that's,
I know.
Like from a purely business standpoint, I understand why Facebook could be upset because this is a third-party company coming in and going to try to basically, potentially, and not really, we all know Facebook's not going to go bankrupt from this, going to disrupt some of their business operations, which that is a legitimate complaint. But what they're doing is tracking you as you move across their platform.
This is the thing. So,
yeah,
you know, imagine it's 1975.
Oh,
and you're watching TV
back when
one
V8s
night.
were V8s and
Yes.
leaded gasoline was all the...
Yep, that's right. Right. And you watch advertising on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give the world a Coke was probably one of them. McDonald's was advertising whatever nonsense they had in the 70s, whatever. And you were either affected by that ad or you weren't, but that was it. You know, like no one was No one ever told stories about how like they had a conversation with their wife about a McDonald's hamburger,
Right.
and all of a sudden the newspaper had McDonald's ads, and all of a sudden there was a billboard with McDonald's ad, and all of a sudden there was a, like the technology that we have today to like violate people's privacy and stalk them as they go around the internet should be horrifying to everybody.
Yeah.
And the fact that Facebook's business is built on that, just like Google's is, right? It just you should lose respect for this.
Or they could pay me for it, which they're not going to. But
that's right.
You
know what though? By the way, if they ever did that, they'd have a ton of people who would be happy to take their money to violate their privacy.
Oh,
They would be. There would. Because right now, people are doing it for free and they don't care. They literally, when confronted by these facts, are like, yeah, I don't care. Google Maps gets me where I want to go. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see the traffic on the highways.
What you don't know is that you had something weird health thing happen to you and you Googled it. And now that's out there.
Yeah, you have a medical...
And then your insurance comes up and for some reason your insurance company's like, you know what? We're not renewing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we found out you were Googling about a skin lesion or something, and we think something's wrong with you.
Is it like really dumping that hard outside? Either my house is blowing up. Plausible.
This can't be that hurricane thing, which is now
No. This is...
We had incredible wind and
it's dumping.
And lost our power for a very small period of time. But it was one of those, it's 90 degrees during the day here now, and it's like, oh, come on, don't do this.
Yeah. Well, it was like I could tell when I put my kid into my wife's car to drive her to school. Like you walk outside and it's a soup. You're like, yeah, it's gonna storm today.
So last night at I don't know 6 o'clock or whatever time, a friend of mine texted us and said, "Hey, we're getting some crazy thunderstorms. What is it like where you live?" And I walked out the front door, and my front door faces south, basically. Let's call it just due south, and it is blue sky, a couple of clouds. I could see the moon up there. It was beautiful. I took a picture of it. It was really nice. And then I turned around, looked at and it was black. And I was like, oh man, we're right on the line, and it really got bad. Like it rained really hard. So I wonder if this is, I don't know, related to that, what you're saying. I don't know.
I don't know if you just hear that it just thundered, but no, because I mean, maybe it's like on the same frontal system, but like when it hit your house and come back mine, that would be
Oh, no. This is moving west to east. So whatever hit us last night is gone. What I'm saying is maybe there's like you said, a frontal system of some kind or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist, Brad. I don't know how the stars.
I love that stuff. Like there was another lifetime where I was a meteorologist. I love it. So much so, Paul, that in Flight Simulator, which this is, I am loving this game, quote unquote game or whatever you want to call this, simulator.
Now, what are you
experience.
playing this on?
Just on my PC with an Xbox controller. And if anybody watched the podcast I did this morning, they already know this pro tip, but this is an absolute dead serious pro tip. If you're using an Xbox controller with Flight Sim, and by the way, Flight Sim, if you're paying for Game Pass, you don't have to pay to play it.
Yeah, I've actually installed it on this computer.
So here's plug in an Xbox controller, but the first thing you need to do is go into controls, and there's a thing called sensitivity. Okay. And you click it and drag like your left and right and up and down to like 50%, because it's really, really hard to use a controller because it's so like sensitive that like you just
it will just jerk down.
But in planes, you want nice, long, gradual turns and all that stuff. So turn that way down. It is so much easier to play.
Nice.
But what you can do, Bahal, is you can turn on live weather and the radars and all that stuff. And when the hurricane was flying or smashing into Louisiana, you could go fly into it. Like it was really
I saw
neat.
people were doing that, and I guess you did it apparently. What you're saying? Yeah.
Did it multiple times.
Yeah, that's the best way to experience a storm in a plane. I can tell you that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's, to me, that is like peak Microsoft, having like a really good game engine, having all this data, and having a platform to deliver it in a way that is just really, really cool. I can't commend those guys enough. They really, I think, hit it out of the park with this one. And so it's fun. And like I said, if you've got Game Pass, you've already paid for it, so you might as well go play it. Although it is a massive download, so keep that in mind. Yeah. Like 150 gigs like installed, or like one more zone effectively.
Yeah. You just bought a fifth of Nokia.
Oh, God. What else? Facebook dared a grievance. We got some Windows 2004 usage. Oh, did you take the photo of the moon, by the way, with your Ultra?
Oh, I didn't take you mean like a zoom shot?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I still haven't done a big zoom shot with it yet. I know.
Yeah, if only you had some sort of good phone that would have been able to zoom in on the moon. That could have seen the
well,
man
I
who's
will do
living
that.
there.
It's coming, dude. There's only so many hours in the day. No, I don't know what it is. Past 48 hours, whatever, has been really busy for me. It's whatever. Anyway, no. But there's one thing I wanted to tell you. Andrew asked me about this yesterday, kind of randomly. I'm like, oh my God, right? I've been meaning to mention this. My house got hit by lightning, next to my house, and I've had those issues with the soundbar. So the soundbar died. I had to send it back to Sonos to send me a new one, and it hasn't been working. It works fine when it comes on, but when you turn the TV on, it doesn't come on. It's on the TV volume, the TV speaker. And then over time, it would kind of kick in. And so I don't know. Now I forget, 3 days ago-ish, let's say, I went out probably at lunch, turned it on, and I was meaning to navigate around the UI of the Roku or whatever, but my finger hit the volume button on the side of the remote, and the volume changed, and I saw that it was the soundbar. I was like, that's interesting. I just turned on the TV. Mm-hmm. That's the way it's supposed to work, by the way.
Right.
So, which is why it's surprising to me that it worked that way. Ever since then, I've been paying attention to it. So I turn on the TV, and as soon as the screen comes up, I immediately click the volume button, and it's been working. So I don't remember. Like I said, six times turning it on off, maybe 3 days ish. I guess that is. Like the TV has been working. Like the soundbar has been working. And so again, what I keep thinking about is that all those people who gave me feedback about the lightning thing were like, look, you're going to be having weird problems for a long time, but things like, look, it could stop working again. I don't want to get too excited because suspicious that way, but it's been working, and I'm wondering if that thing at least has ironed out, or I don't know how that works, Brad. It's magic, like I said, but
it is magic.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm really happy about that. It's the only thing that's gone right this year so far.
Well, after going terribly wrong, then it went
right. Exactly.
Sort of back to right. The other thing too that happened this week that we never brought up, Amazon announced Halo, which they should have called this thing Halo, and then the sub brand being Infinite. That would have been just fantastic. But
so I'm surprised no one's made a joke like Microsoft wasn't able to ship a Halo this year, so Amazon decided to.
Wow.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Also, they call the device itself is called a Halo Band, so they're taking both Band and Halo from Microsoft.
If the syncing software is called Zune, I'm out. That's yeah.
That's funny.
I don't. How much does this thing cost? Did they even say?
About health, nutrition.
No. What's it cost?
Sorry, it's normally $99.
And there's a subscription for $4.
Yeah, I'm interested. It doesn't have a screen. It's kind of weird. But anyway, I mentioned this to my wife because she writes about this stuff. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Wait, what did they call it?" And I said, "Halo." And she goes, "Do they have any idea what that term means?" And I said, "Well, it's kind of funny to me because of the Halo video." She goes, "No. There's a term, health halo." And what that means, it's a bad thing, not a good thing. A health halo is when you overestimate the healthiness of an item. So, for example, oat bran muffin, health halo is fake. In other words, what it means is it's not as healthy as you think it is.
Yep.
And they're calling their health tracker a halo. And she's like, "Do these people have any idea what they're doing?" And I was like, "Oh, listen, welcome to my industry. I'm this is the peanut butter cup moment where my wife's expertise and mine overlap,
Yeah. Well, the other good example, which I had no idea that was a term, was vitamin water, right? Was way oversold as being a healthy product, and then they got sued into oblivion and can no longer.
There's a million examples of this kind of stuff where you eat this one
Nutella
thing and it's the diet, trick of the century, and then it's like when low-fat food comes out, people were eating sheaths of low-fat Oreos because they were like, "Oh yeah, these are low-fat. I can eat as many as I want." I'm like, they still have calories, right? It's you can't just eat I don't know. People are stupid, Brad.
Look, if they ever come out and say guacamole is a carcinogen, like I am done. Like my life will be over so quickly because I eat a ton of guac. I love it.
Guacamole's awesome. That's like the right kind of fat.
That's my point. Like everybody's saying it's supposed to be good, and then they're gonna come out in like 3 years and say it's like the next asbestos, and I'm just gonna be like, well, and I'm out.
The problem is you eat guacamole on chips, and chips are terrible for you. But whatever. I mean, look, we all make compromises with regards to things that we like versus things that are good for us, whether it's food or anything else.
Podcasting.
Podcasting?
Yeah. This can't be good for my health every day. Maybe it is. Maybe this is therapy for grown adults or something. I don't know.
You thought you were going to die and go to hell one day, but what you didn't realize is that already happened, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, I am downstairs. That's step one. Is I got to go down a flight of steps to.
Yeah. How hot is the basement, Brad?
Like when I actually die, that what's going to happen is like the steps will just never stop, and I'll just keep walking, and then I'll be like, hey, wait a minute, where's the basement that I finished? And it's just.
I keep waiting for the gaping maw of hell just to open behind me, and I get like the express pass for the first time in my life. But
it's like a Disney with you just touch your little wristband to the little Disney light, and it lights up. It goes ding.
You're in.
Oh, bad. Well, it is Friday after all. You doing anything exciting this COVID weekend?
I would have been driving my daughter to college on Sunday. Actually, so related to that, I had to go to Costco, as I mentioned to you. I don't think it was on it. I mentioned I did some errands today, and I went to Costco at like 11:30, 11:45, something like that. It is teeming with people. This is why I don't leave the house, right? And I had the whole Pennsylvania Drive experience. It was unbelievable. But I park my car, I get out of the car, I'm walking I had to park far away because it's packed. And I go, there's a mother pushing a thing and talking to her little kids and everything, being cute with them and stuff. And fat guys walk by, and then like some other people. And I go all the way to the door, and I'm like, right, there's a pandemic. Every single person I saw was wearing a mask, except for me. So I had to walk back to my car because I completely forgot. I find myself doing this from time to time. Like I go out in the world sporadically. I forget there's a global pandemic occurring, and I walk up to some door or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. The whole world's gone to shit, and I'm like pretending it didn't.
So somebody just tweeted. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Guido, maybe, just tweeted at both of us this image of you, which is I think a classic. Let's see if we can.
Yep. Is this? Yeah, from my old basement.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Live and learn.
Actually, this image comes up from time to time. I enjoy that people have held on to it.
It's a classic. I don't blame them. I might put it on a shirt.
Right. Yeah. WWPD.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that wraps up whatever this. We've got Monday. Oh, I doubt this is going to happen, but I requested from both Xbox and PlayStation that on Monday they have a rock, paper, scissors match. Whoever loses has to announce their console pricing.
You should have to go on like the Price is Right. And they're like, how much do you think this thing costs? And then, one guy's above and one guy's below, and then they pull the thing off and it says the price,
They should have Reggie, who was the former Nintendo president, being Bob Barker.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So what? Okay. What were you expect? Are you expecting them to announce this soon?
No. Well, okay. It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be somewhat soon. They're both just kind of. Microsoft was supposed to have an event in August, and I think they pushed it back because they haven't heard anything. And
this is seriously the most obvious game of chicken I've ever seen. Like they clearly want the other company to go first.
Yeah. How long can they? The thing is like I don't think
like they'll be on sale and people will be bringing them to the register and there will be no price. And this like, well, did Microsoft say anything yet? Like they're like waiting,
The clerk is just scrolling Twitter, like just come on. Like
yeah. Are we still live or whatever?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so when we're not, I have to tell you something.
Okay. Well, I can't kill the live stream from here. So
okay.
Just call me back in a minute.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's just
You're not a big deal.
Bye.
Oops. Wrong one.